What is going on YouTube? My name is Austin Erlocker and this is a Welcome Skateboards deck review. So if you found this Welcome Skateboard review, I'm happy to break down my experience with the board and dig into what I like, what I don't like about the board, and really help you identify if you want to purchase a shaped skateboard or just a Welcome board in general as your next deck. If you have found yourself on this video and you're new to the channel, I want to ask you to hit that like and subscribe button down below and continue following along with this kind of content. I am a skateboard filmer based in Phoenix, Arizona, so I'm shooting a lot of the Phoenix scene, but I'm also doing a lot of traveling to different spots, doing reviews, and really trying to share what it's like to be a skateboarder coming back into the fold of things in your mid-20s. So a dude with a corporate job just using skateboarding and video production as a creative outlet and really helping provide some entertainment for you guys along the way. I'm just gonna say, high level, I love this board. It is a very cool thing to like start skating a shaped skateboard, especially if it's maybe your first time in a long time skating a shapeboard or your first time ever. I believe shaped skateboards really, while there are some drawbacks to shaped decks depending on what you're looking to do, is really a cool way to kind of reapproach skateboarding and just feel a little different than what you're used to riding on a board. And for me personally, it helps get me creative on my board and kind of puts me in a different mindset than if I were to be skating a regular popsicle deck skateboard. So one thing I did notice is I was skating trucks that were fairly good size for an 825 popsicle deck, but as soon as I set up the trucks on this board, even though in the shop they register it as an 825, it definitely felt weird at first because the front is much wider than what I was normally used to skating on, and I started getting a lot of wheel bite at the very beginning of skating this, even just on like flat ground ollies. So that was a little concerning when I first started, but now that I've spent some more time on it and all I had to do was really tighten my trucks, and I've gotten used to the slightly different feeling of having a wider front than the back of the board, and I haven't had any problems since. Now I would still be a little nervous to take this board down a larger set of stairs, just because I still feel like sometimes I'm getting close to that wheel bite. Let's see if you can. This board's only been ridden for a couple weeks and nothing too hardcore, but under the wheels you can see where I'm getting that wheel bite right there. And granted, this is definitely a vert setup I'm skating on. I'm skating like 56mm wheels and very large trucks, so even if I were on a popsicle board, I'd be less likely to take this set down a staircase anyways. Now a lot of people get worried about when they skate shaped skateboards that they're really going to have trouble getting their flip tricks back, and I'm sure I'll go over a couple clips here where I am doing maybe a tray flip or two. I really gotta say, I love the feeling of doing flip tricks on this board because it's so wide. I remember, and I have very mobbed kick flips anyways, but I remember the first kick flip I did on this board, even though they're traditionally super ugly, and gotta say my kick flips are probably still ugly considered to most people's kick flips, but it felt very nice catching it and just having a wider section for my feet to land on. And I remember doing almost like a little surf right away when I caught that kick flip, and it felt very nice. So while the board is a lot heavier and may take a little more strength, and just committing to a couple extra days of getting used to flip tricks on this board, if you're willing to put in the work to get used to that feeling, you're gonna love flip tricks on this board. I know tray flips feel super popped and crispy for me, and it really didn't take that much of a learning curve to get used to. So that's been a really great kind of reassurance when it comes to doing some flip tricks on a shaped Welcome skateboard. Now there are going to be other shapes that are probably a little more crazier that will be harder to do flip tricks on, but if you get something along the category under rides like a popsicle, then you're going to be pretty safe in being able to adapt to the different board feeling. Now when it comes to skating transition or vert, this board is no problem with that. I've loved the feeling of just having a very wide deck to be comfortable on any kind of transition trick or little airs that I'm doing. So it's been wonderful from that end. What I'd say overall when it comes to buying a Welcome skateboard, if you're considering it, really think about what you want to do on this board during the month or two that you'll be, riding on it. On average, I go through about a board every 1 to 2 months. So if that's you, really think about what you want to accomplish during that time on the board, whether it's just learning some fun tricks, maybe a little more no-comply type tricks, or just feel a little different when you're doing your flip tricks and getting to use a slightly different part of your brain when it comes to going through your top trick list, because it definitely feels slightly a bit different, but that slight difference is much more of a fun challenge. And really just in general, skating a skateboard, personally from my end, feels like just a fun little break. There are some downsides or potential things you should think about when getting a shaped deck, and that's the fact that typically they are going to be much heavier skateboards. So if you feel like you don't really want to spend the extra time building the leg muscle and just adapting to the kind of pressure and pop you're going to need to put into the boards to maybe have the same level of tricks you were doing before. Now I gotta say, it doesn't take that much, but you are gonna probably have to commit to a couple days of breaking it in and getting used to these slight differences. One of the things also I've seen with this board is there are a couple stress fractures or stress cracks on the deck, but that could just be from me having my trucks a little too tight on the board, as well as being in 115-degree Arizona heat consistently. I keep this board in my car, not the best thing I should have done, but there have been a couple cracks because of that. But I don't think that's too big of a deal. This board is still riding great for me, and I'm excited to be on it every single day. It really feels cool to be on a shaped Welcome board, and I'm probably gonna keep skating shape boards for a little bit after this board even goes through. At least that's my plan so far. If you want a slightly different challenge or feeling when you're skateboarding, if you want to take a break and focus a little more on those no comply or fun style tricks, take a look at a Welcome skateboard or any other kind of shaped deck. It's not going to be that difficult to transition to, and it will be a fun little break. So let me know how these decks have been riding for you. If you have ridden a shaped deck, or if you're looking to try out a Welcome board, what are your biggest concerns in making that purchase or commitment to trying it out? I'll be happy to give some more detailed perspective in the comments below. Be sure to hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell so you can see more content. And there is a loud truck behind me, so let's wrap up the video now. Peace.